Hey y'all, I'm about to show you guys how I tame these brows. They are some beasts right now, but when I don't feel like waxing them myself, I do something very simple. Like, a lot of y'all might not like tweezing, but this is like my go-to in between me waxing my eyebrows myself. I don't typically let other people wax my brows. Now that I'm a licensed esthetician, I tend to do them myself, but sometimes I get lazy, and you know, you just gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm gonna show y'all how I tame my brows, and if you want to see that, just keep on watching. So in order for you to do this, you're gonna need a pair of tweezers. Any tweezers, it really doesn't matter as long as they're tweezers, really. You're also gonna need some type of brow gel. This is the NYX Brow Gel that I tend to use pretty often. Want it to focus. But yeah, this is the NYX Brow Gel in black. It's waterproof, so they say it really is waterproof. Like, I can honestly say that it is so hard to come off, but I love that stuff. As well as the Anastasia Dip Brow. Okay, come on and focus. The Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the color chocolate. I don't know if you guys can see that. It might be upside down, but yeah, this is a Dip Brow Pomade in chocolate. And then I also have, if I could find it here, I also have the I forgot the name of this thing, but this is also by Anastasia. It has the spoolie brush on one side and then the tapered brush on the other end. So the first thing I do, I go ahead and I brush my brow hair up. Now, I do kind of have longer, I wouldn't necessarily say longer, but it tends to be longer than a lot of people's brow hair, but it's not the longest I've seen. But I just go ahead and I brush all of that up. They never seem to go in the same direction. Like, my brows, they're weird. But I am going to take the NYX Brow Gel, and I'm just going to outline my brow into the shape that I want it to be. I'm just going to make a little line. So everything under that line is what I'm gonna go ahead and tweeze. So you want to make sure you're holding your skin taut. And like I said, a lot of people don't like tweezing, but I really don't mind. So after I do the front part, I'm just going to go ahead and do that same thing to the tail area. And it's basically the same thing all the way around. It's just like filling in your brow. So whatever shape you like when you fill in your brow, it's gonna be that exact same shape. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the tail end, and then I'm gonna come back and show y'all the top too, just so y'all can get like the gist of what I'm doing, but it's basically all the same. The bottom is completely done. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the top. Once I get done, I'm gonna wipe it away and show y'all. Still not taking a lot of product on my brush, and I am going to go ahead and comb that out one more time. And you do want to make sure you get your line as straight as possible, because baby, you will be real upset if you don't. And I don't have the longest brows, but they work for me. The top usually don't need too much work. It's typically just the bottom. So like I said, I'm gonna take my wipe, and I'm gonna go ahead and wipe that away and show y'all the brow after. So once I get to this point, it's not really as perfect as it would be if I went ahead and actually arched it, like if I waxed it or something like that. Still be like banging when I go ahead and I actually do my brows. Now you can see the difference in these two brows. Just like if I comb this one out more, I actually can't comb it out any more than it already is. But if you take a look at this brow, and then take a look at this one, they're like two completely different brows. Like, it's a lot more tame. Okay, so now both of my brows are nice and clean, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my brow routine. So I'm going to use my Anastasia Creme Contour Kit, and I'm going to use the Nude color. Now I do tend to outline my brows first before I fill them in. So like I said, I'm going to take that Nude color with my brow brush by Real Techniques. It's just like a tapered brow brush, and I'm just going to get some of that product on my brush. Go ahead and comb them out one more time. So what I do is I take and outline the brow using that product, and then I blend that out some. I know that seemed a little light, but for right now we're just gonna leave that. And then I'm gonna take the Dip Brow Pomade in Chocolate. I don't know if it's gonna focus or not. But it's the Dip Brow Pomade in Chocolate. And I'm gonna go ahead and line my brow with that. You don't need a whole bunch of product, just enough to do what you have to do. So you're going along that same line that you just created. Blend that up. So after you fill your brow in, after you do that line and you just blend it up, you really don't have to draw a line at the top of the brow. It makes it look more natural if you leave it this way. But if you want, you can just take and outline the top. Now, depending on how clean the brow is, you might not need to conceal the top of it. If you want, you could just conceal the top where the point is, just to make your line a little bit more crispy. So after that, I take my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Fawn. And I go ahead and go over the concealer that I already put on there. So this is how we blend out that harsh color. Now you don't need a whole lot. I literally just put this little amount on my brush. You don't need like a ton. And what I do is I go along that same area. Don't put it all the way up to the actual line that you created, because if you put too much up there, it won't blend out right and it'll mess up what you filled in. So you put it on, you blend it down some until there's not so much excess, and then you go back and blend it up into that original line. And like I said, you don't have to conceal the top of your brow, but if you want, you can just do this line just so that your point is sharper. Now after I do that, I take just any fluffy blending brush. This one is an angle shader from Royal and Langnickel. I got this from the beauty supply. So I just take that and I blend all of that in. And then if you're doing eyeshadow behind this, that helps a lot too, because usually what I do is I set my lid with concealer instead of using an eyeshadow base. Behind it and clean it up with your finger a little. And that is all. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do the other brow and I will be back. Okay, so here are both brows all done before I do my makeup. And yeah, that's about it. So if you like the tutorial, just go ahead and like the video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I am going to list everything that I used. So like I said, if you have any questions, just list them down below. And if you want to see any foundation routine or anything like that, any questions you have, and next videos you want to see, you guys can just leave them down there and I will be sure to get to that for you. But again, thank you for watching and I hope to see you guys soon.